It's long past time for Boomer Esiason to go back to talking just about football. Look, Boomer, I don't know how many concussions you took during your time while you were playing quarterback for a failed football team in what is basically nothing more than a mediocre career to begin with. But maybe if you'd shut up once in a while, go back and listen to the idiocy, the stupidity, the ignorance that you spit, that you spew when it comes down to talking about women, then we would know a little bit more, and so would you, that obviously you don't like women. Obviously, you got something against women, and all you want to do is denigrate them. So do us all a favor. Don't shut up, please. Matter of fact, go ahead. Keep saying whatever you're saying, because it proves to everybody, every single person, what an absolutely ignorant knucklehead you are, and the sexism that you push forward and use your platform on New York City radio every single day. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. But then again, you won't, because you're just another entitled jock. Boomer Esiason hosts a radio show in New York City. Been doing it for a long, long time. And when it comes to football, there's no doubt Boomer knows what he's talking about. But he is just another one of these nonsensical dilettantes who has to get on to the Winter Olympic Games and talk about everything that's wrong, because how dare those athletes talk about politics? How dare anybody give the U.S. men's hockey team trouble for going to the State of the Union? Women's hockey? Women's hockey. There's women's hockey too? Yeah. Those chicks are really nice. They look real good. Now that's exactly what comes out here, because the issue comes down, and I am just steaming about this, because I am sick and tired of morons like Boomer Esiason using their platform to be nothing more than ignorant idiots when it comes down to trying to use something to their advantage. And Boomer, I'll tell you what, before we even get started and I really start getting tuned up, if this does ever reach you, which I doubt it will, look, I have no aspirations of what's going on here. I can't guess. But anytime you want to get on the air and you want to debate it, you want to take this right down to the corner, anytime you find me, I'll fly to New York. I'll be in the studios, whatever it needs. Of course, I'm going to make you pay for it because you've got the money. But if you want to get involved in an argument here, bring it on. Bring it on, because I can tear you up in person just like I'm going to tear you up right now.
President Trump criticized freestyle skier and Bend native Hunter Hess today, and it came after Hess expressed mixed feelings about representing the U.S. at the Games. In response, on his Truth social media platform, Trump wrote, quote, "If that's the case, he shouldn't have tried out for the team, and it's too bad he's on it," end quote. If you missed it, here's what Hess said that prompted Trump's post.
It brings up mixed emotions to represent the U.S. right now, I think. It's a little hard. There's obviously a lot going on that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think a lot of people aren't.
The president also called Hess, quote, "a real loser," and said it's, quote, "very hard to root for someone like this."
At the beginning of the Winter Olympic Games, when this whole story came out, Boomer decided to appear on one of the most far right-wing media outlets. And don't call it a network, because Newsmax is not a news network. It is a platform. That's all it is. It is a social media, internet-generated news platform that has zero, and I mean zero, credibility when it comes down to any kind of journalism whatsoever. They are simply there because their owner, Chris Ruddy, is a neighbor of Donald Trump. They've been friends for a long time. He created the network to be a right-wing feeder for Donald Trump. Okay, now that's fine. Anybody can do whatever they want. I'm not saying he can't do it. Go right ahead. But that's what it is. It is a biased platform, and it's not a news platform. It's an entertainment platform with nothing more than opinion shows. So Boomer goes on this show, and the issue comes up about Hunter Hess, who was the one who started a lot of this at the Olympic Games when he came out and said, I represent America, but I don't believe in everything that America stands for, which is his right, which, thank goodness for those men and women who died over 250 years, who gave us the right to say those things. He's allowed to. Constitution allows it. Freedom of speech allows it. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. And it's not being anti-patriot as well. It's not a lack of patriotism. Stop right there, because you know that's not true. That's just somebody giving their opinion. At no time did he denigrate America. So Boomer comes out and talks about the whole Hunter Hess interview and drops this beauty of a comment.
I want your reaction on the athletes who talk like this about their country while they're representing it on stage.
I actually feel bad for them because I wonder why our athletes are the only ones that get asked those types of questions. Is anybody asking the Chinese athletes about their government? Is anybody
Great
asking
point.
the French athletes about their government? And I feel like these guys are being asked loaded questions, and I'm not sure why they feel like they have to answer them.
Oh, really? Oh, honestly? You're going to stand on that? Let's just go ahead and hit a couple of points in there. You know why Chinese athletes don't say anything about their government? Because their government is repressive and will basically stick them in jail if they say anything. They can't say anything. They'll call them back home immediately because it is a repressive government that stops its people from saying things that can make situations better. Any kind of comments whatsoever. That's why Chinese athletes don't say anything, you moron. And oh yeah, why don't French athletes say anything? Their government is not destroying the economy around the world right now, is not leaving dead people in Minneapolis, is not trying to basically create a race war, and is not almost destroying the world's economy. And I could go on, but I'm just making a couple of small moments here. That's why they don't say anything. French government's pretty good, okay? They're not out there starting wars, and they're not stopping 8 wars either, but that's another story for another day.
I have interviewed over 20 Olympic athletes, all successful, and my questions to them are always about them. What has it taken for them to get to where they are? What does it feel like to stand up there on the medal stage to receive a gold medal? And they all speak about the struggles that they had when they were kids, how important their parents were, the amount of time and effort it took to get there. And never once did we ever talk about politics because they may have thought a little bit differently than I did. And I was there to celebrate who they were as an athlete. And that's what we should be doing as a media when we are covering the Olympics. We should never be asking questions that are leading these people down these roads that get them in trouble because half the country is going to hate the answer no matter what the answer is.
And I've interviewed lots of athletes, and we don't talk about things like that. We try and talk about them and who they are. You know why, Boomer? Because you're not a journalist. You're not a reporter. You're nothing is what you are. You're nothing more than a clown, propped up, former player, an ex-jock who sits up there and spits his nonsense because you're paid to. And when it comes down to football, you're good at it. I'm not going to knock it. I've enjoyed your work in the past before. But you have no idea what you're talking about here. You're just throwing things out there when it comes out to, we never ask those kind of questions. You know who asks those kind of questions? Journalists. Real journalists. Broadcast journalists. Print journalists. People from real organizations like the New York Times, the Washington Post, the LA Times, the Miami Herald, the Boston Globe. The real news interviewers, people like at 60 Minutes and other people who do this as a profession. They ask those questions because they're important. They're not just this softball bullshit that people like you throw out there, which is exactly what you're talking about doing. Oh, we've had these wonderful interviews before in the past, and I've talked about. We can talk about what they've done. I've done those interviews. And Boomer, by the way, I've interviewed more Olympic athletes than you. Many times, and I've talked to them about their lives, their families, their careers, their goals, their passions, and then we have talked about serious issues because it gives us an idea of who the person is. It is a well-rounded opportunity to do that kind of an interview, which you can't do and you won't do because you're not good at it. You're not trained at it. You're just a talking head, is all you are. Stick to football. So we have this nonsense being thrown out here about Eileen Gu, and I just want to make sure that we talk about this.
Gu is the most decorated female freestyle skier in Olympic history, winning 2 gold medals in the halfpipe and big air events, along with a silver in the slopestyle in Beijing back in 2022, plus 2 more silvers in Milan earlier this month. Born in San Francisco, she's representing China in the Olympic Games, catching the attention of many, including Vice President J.D. Vance, who weighed in earlier this week.
I certainly think that somebody who grew up in the United States of America, who benefited from our education system, from the freedoms and liberties that make this country a great place, I would hope that they want to compete with the United States of America. So I'm going to root for American athletes. And I think part of that is people who identify themselves as Americans.
Now, in response to those comments, Gu saying in part, quote, "So many athletes compete for a different country. People only have a problem with me doing it because they kind of lump China into this monolithic entity and they just hate China."
I applaud her for what she did. She's a marvelous athlete. She competed for China and got paid. Guess what? Our American athletes are getting paid too. Everybody gets paid. Because at the end of the day, the Olympics is all about politics. It's all about nations. We want to be the best nation in the world. We want to be the Americans. We want to win the medal count. We want to be the Chinese. We want to win the medal count. We want to defeat our enemies. Come on, you know that's what this is all about. But instead, we need to take it and look at it as sport. The beauty of sport that is apolitical. So in this sense, whether it's Eileen Gu, whether it's Amber Glenn, whether it's an athlete from Norway, Finland, Taiwan, I applaud them because they've given their lives to their passion. And it's other people on the outside who want to make a big deal out of it and make it political. And if the athlete decides to make a comment, let him. But instead, we get this absolute nonsense, this bubble-headed bullshit from people like Boomer Esiason. Boomer, look, let's talk for a second, okay? I've met you a couple times in my life. You're a nice guy. Maybe you never stole a freight train. But stop talking about things you know nothing about. Really, I know more about it than you do. I've been more places than you. I've not just been sitting there doing a talk show to a specific audience all day long. And you have. I applaud you. Good for you getting the job. Okay? But when we as a society allow idiots to throw nonsense at us and shape the discussion based on incorrect comments, propaganda, disinformation, misinformation, and nothing more than biased opinion, we're in trouble. Now, you can take Boomer's opinion and you can perhaps use it, but use it as a balance. After Boomer said what he said on that network, Boomer Esiason goes on his radio show and talks more. He can't stop. He can't stop. After the Olympic Games, Boomer can't stop talking about Eileen Gu. It's become his hook. So he gets on the air, camera's rolling, and he says this.
And I heard she got $6 million for going there, and I heard the sponsorship over the last year, she got $23 million from different Chinese sponsors.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, so she's a very, very attractive woman, and she's extremely bright. She went to Stanford. But if you listen to her post, I guess, participation interviews, she's insufferable. She is. It's hard to listen to, but then again, it's an individual sport by an individual person talking about herself, as opposed to talking about her teammates or the support that she receives.
Oh, Boomer, let's just get on board, shall we? Oh, she's very cute and she's very smart. You sexist son of a bitch. I mean, really? That's how you're going to take it? Well, she's insufferable. Yeah, but she looks good. She's very pretty. Maybe if we put Eileen in I don't know. Let's put her in a negligee next time she competes, okay? Let's go ahead and just look at her looks. Oh, and she went to Stanford. Oh, I'm surprised you didn't come out and say, gee, they must have gone ahead and given her degree because she's so good looking. What absolute nonsense. And not only that, but Esiason goes off. And who is this clown Geo that is his compatriot? Another clown. Another nudnik, basically just getting out there and wanting to spit some. He starts laughing about it. You're laughing about it. You guys, what? Okay. Bring it in for a psychological moment. What psychological issue do you guys have with women? Come on, Boomer. Come on, you can tell us. Obviously, you hate women. You're uncomfortable around them because you can't say anything nice about them. Oh, well, I guess she's okay. But she's insufferable. She looks good. And she's got an education. How nice. What's wrong with you guys? Why do you hate women so much? Obviously you do. Now me, buddy, I love women. I love them every single day, and I respect them, and that's part of it. You guys have no respect for women because you're trying to make a point, and not only that, you're trying to create a contrived controversy again. You want people like me, which we're doing, talking about you, giving you all kinds of promotion, letting the fans out there all getting, yeah, come on, guys, let's go after those broads. What do you say? But you guys need to understand, we're not laughing with you, we're laughing at you. And I guess if it brings you attention, I'll do my best. But I'll do my best to bring the wrong attention to you, and then the proper attention. Because what you're saying is nonsense. It's insulting, it's demeaning, it actually shows, psychologically speaking, that there's something in your background that you don't like about women. I wonder how that goes with your wives and daughters and sisters, huh? I wonder how they feel about that. That you just said, oh, well, she's pretty and she's intelligent, but she's stupid. That's what you said. So we really need to understand that what came out of the Winter Olympic Games will never go away. We'll be talking about this for a long time. But let's hope that the next time Boomer Esiason opens his mouth, something comes out of it instead of ignorant, ill-educated dribble about things he knows nothing about. Or maybe there's a little fear back there, not sure. But at least, by his own words, you too, Gio, we know who you are.